Not clear to me this would be an election play because it's not clear to me which way the base wants Trump to be.
Right.
It's surprising, actually, that a lot of the base is welcome, despite the volatility that it's in, it's triggered in equities, the tough talk on trade, the willingness to take China on. So
because these are areas of the country that feel like they've gotten the wrong end of the
wrong
end of the deal for a long time on this.
So my suspicion is that, as Larry said, there may be some thawing, that there are talks going on, which is, I think, something that at least holds out hope. I've been hopeful all along that the worst case would be avoided, though I think this president is willing to go there in order to get progress done on China. The only thing I would say is what I fear to some extent is it's not going to end. It's not just about trade with China. Mm-hmm. That this is going to be sort of an ongoing conflict, or it's a new turn in the relationship. Exactly.
Things are not going to go along to get along type of situation. Exactly. We are going to be bumping into each other on all kinds of fronts. Right. Seth, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I agree there's uncertainty. This seems like it's got to be a step in the positive direction for resolving the trade disputes, but it seems like this administration all along has treated China differently than other trade relationships. I also think it's interesting that there were negotiations going on before, back in the early summer, and then when the first round of tariffs went in, those negotiations stopped. So I think it remains to be seen just how serious these overtures are, and whether or not there are actually concessions that will lead Trump to say, that's fine. The investigation that we did that said Chinese intellectual property policies had been hurting us, is he going to get to a point where he's willing to say all of that is fine and unwind the existing tariffs, or is this just about keeping further escalation from happening?
Can I ask a question about the timing? And I know we've talked about the midterms and this being political, related to the midterms for Trump. My understanding has always been, at least from the sources I have in China, that this has been about the midterms for them, which is to say that they really wanted to see how he does to figure out sort of what kind of leverage they really have over this. So this idea that this is going to end in the next week, I imagine that the real answer is not going to come for several weeks, if not longer. No?
China will wait to see if he's weakened.
Yeah.
I think that conceptually that was one of the ideas here behind at least how they were thinking about it.
It does seem impossible to get any resolution before the election. So in that sense, it almost surely has to be playing out the way you said in terms of timing. And yeah, I think the domestic politics on both sides of the Pacific matter a lot for the negotiating position of the principals.
The only thing I would say, too, though, is it's not clear to me how the outcome of the midterms influences the president. If he doesn't do well, he may actually get tougher in his rhetoric with China. So one of the things I think that it's not clear about is whether or not that strategy, if that's what China's doing, would ultimately.
And I don't know if China